Hey, this is Matt Cain with the San Francisco Giants, and you guys are listening to Torture Cast.
You're listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants with hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, and Ben Lee.
Let's go Giants! SF Giants! Let's go Giants! SF Giants!
Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball history, the San Francisco Giants. This is Torture Cast.
We're standing on top, not gonna stop. We came to play, ain't slowing down. We're here to stay, and we're stomping on whatever's in our way. I'm feeling like a giant tonight.
Welcome to the Torture Cast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. I'm hosting tonight. I never do this. My name's Chad, and I don't have Willie and Ben on the line tonight. In fact, Willie is playing pool, and Ben is packing for Vegas. But no, I'm not flying solo. I have two other co-hosts tonight. We have a returning member to the podcast team who has his own blog, Two Out Hits, and he also has his own podcast, Around the Foghorn. Eric Nathanson. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing well, Chad. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining on short notice. Appreciate it. And also, a first-time member to come on this podcast is Michael McKay, a longtime Giants fan and follower of our blog and many other podcasts and other blogs. Michael, how you doing?
I am excellent. How are you tonight?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us tonight. So the Giants, unfortunately, or fortunately, escaped with a win tonight, barely. You'd think normally a team would score 12 runs, it would be a laugher. In fact, they had a 4-run lead in the 11th inning, which is an odd thing to say. Usually that doesn't happen. And it still was torturous. The Rockies obviously hit a 2-run home run with nobody out, and got the tying run to the plate with 1 out. But the Giants did secure the 1 win out of the 3, and they had 1 win in San Diego out of those 3 games. So they return at 2-4. But, the whole big picture, basically, I know a lot of people are bitching and whining about their offense right now, which definitely has been faltering until today, which is, in Denver. So that's a good tonic. But the reality is, the Giants are only 1 game out of first place right now, sitting at 12-10 behind the Dodgers. So big picture, they're not in a bad place. But do you guys have any concerns right now?
I'll jump in. My main concern is Ryan Vogelsong and the back ends, and I guess Lincecum, you can lump it in there too. The back end of the rotation is my biggest concern because I feel like the rest of the pitching staff has been getting it done. I know the offense showed signs of life today because it's cores and all that, but they've shown signs of life at different times during the season when it's not just cores. So I think the offense will come together just fine. But the back end of the rotation, specifically Vogelsong, scares the living daylights out of me.
Yeah, what do you think, Michael?
I'm in agreement. 1 through 3 starters. I mean, Kane, he's there, but he's kind of struggling a little bit. But I think he'll find his way because I think with him and the Giants pitching staff and the coaches like Rigetti and Gardner, if something's wrong with Kane mechanically or Bumgarner mechanically, they can jump in there and just fix them. But with Timmy and Vogelsong right now, especially Timmy, if he struggles, that's Lincecum actually. It's hard to fix him because his delivery is so unorthodox, and it's like, he can only fix himself. And Vogelsong, I just don't think his velocity is there, and I don't know if he can develop another pitch or find some other way to mix and match his pitches. Because if he's depending on his fastball, the fastball is just looking like a ball of yarn to some of these hitters, and they're just. You saw what happened. They were just teeing off on him, eating the last 2 innings. So, but in terms of the lineup, it's kind of like they are a team. They all go cold together. They all get hot together. So I just think it's just a matter of finding the right person who's comfortable in the right spot of the order, and then just leave it there until you need to shift around for mid pitching matchups or whatever. But I don't know about Pablo being third hitter. Personally, I think he should be hitting like 6 or 7 just to get him out of the pressure hole and just let him swing. But Belt, they're talking about moving him to third. I don't know if they put him at third slot today, but
he was third today.
Yeah.
You saw what happened. So I think that's his slot. I mean, Pence, you can leave him at 2, put him at 5. I mean, that part of the order is not bad. I mean, Crawford's still pulling his own. The second base situation is kind of weird right now with Hicks and Arias. I was listening this morning, and they were talking about, how Arias probably is not ready to go for like a whole season at second base. He's a good fill-in guy. So, Hicks, he's kind of up and down now. He was started off hot, but then got cold. Adrianza's, kind of all over the place. So, I mean, what do we do? Do we bring up a guy? Do we trade? Then other teams know that we are looking for a second baseman. So who knows what they're going to want in return. So it's kind of like we're in a weird spot right now, and it's only April. So, which is the other kind of good thing, but I don't know if it's something to be alarmed with.
Yeah, Vogelsong definitely is a major concern for me. I mean, I love the guy. I want him to succeed. We all want him to succeed so badly. There's not a mean bone in his body unless he destroys cereal bowls, whatever. But he has the mechanics. He has the velocity. He was fine. He was 92, 93 yesterday, or 2 days ago, I should say. It's his location. Everything was just missing. And they were just launching gopher balls. It's not about your velocity. It's not about your speed. It's not about, that kind of thing. But he just was leaving everything up. And I know it's Coors, whatever. Matt Cain himself. Look what he did today. This is the irony of it. Mad Bum pitches a complete game. Okay, it's 8 innings, but he pitches a complete game, allows 2 earned runs on 2 solo shots, and he gets the loss. Matt Cain today allows 8 runs in 7 innings and gets a no decision.
Exactly.
It's just crazy.
Coors Field.
So he did not get caned today. He got the opposite of caned.
Yeah, basically, he said to the offense after they took the lead, forget it. You guys keep screwing me. I'm going to screw you.
Yeah, basically, that's what it was.
It was really
it's like a reverse image.
Yeah, he let up the run, and it just kind of happened. The thing with Vogelsong is, to me, I think he's trying to spot too much. He's trying to be too fine in situations where he does need to be a bull and just go at somebody. And instead of, just throwing it down the center of the plate, throw it, and, the movement might take it a little bit out instead of aiming for that corner. It seems like he's trying to be too fine too much, and that's when he gets into the long innings and deep pitch counts.
Well, he was at 33 pitches before even 1 run was scored in that first inning yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up allowing 4 or 5 runs in the first inning and a third. But the point is that what you just said, he just goes really deep into counts lately, and he ends up, I don't know, I wouldn't call it fatigue in the first inning, but he just loses focus because he is sitting at, and not only that, and the broadcasters brought this up, but when you are on deck and you get to see 8, 9, 10, 11 pitches to the guy in front of you, you're only 10, 20 feet away from that batter. You don't get the exact batter's eye, but you get an idea of the pitches that are coming in. You get to time the pitches. It's definitely an advantage for the guy on deck. And I think that multiplicative effect definitely occurred, in Colorado.
Well, he threw 59 pitches and only 32 were for strikes. So that really does speak to that. But, Petit did a great job of coming in, and he's actually surprised me by bouncing back and doing pretty well. The bullpen's been such a strength for the Giants this season.
Big time.
I can't remember seeing a bullpen start out this season this strong for the Giants. Affeld has shown us in 2 different occasions that he's pretty much back. He's getting weak ground balls and weak pop-ups at the moment.
Nah, he came in today with 2 runners on, got 2 strikeouts, walked a man, and then got the next guy out. So, that was a huge pressure situation. He allows 1 run there, the Giants lose. So, it would have been a sweep. That's the amazing thing to me. The Giants, escaped with this road trip at 2-4, and that actually 2-4 does not sound that bad when you look at how they performed offensively. They were unbelievable. So today they went 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Now, those 2 hits were home runs. Grand slam by Hector Sanchez in the 11th, and Michael Morse with a 3-run home run in 3rd or 4th or whatever it was.
Right.
So all 12 runs today. I mean, that's a magical number. 12 runs. You don't score 12 runs, but maybe, a couple, 3 times during a season. All 12 runs were scored via the home run today. That's incredible. They had 6 home runs, so, I mean, when you add it up like that, it's okay. But they were 1 before today. They were 2 for 12 today. They were 1 for 19 in the first 2 games of the series with runners in scoring position. And that one hit was by Hunter Pence. It didn't even score a run. Yeah. So they were, 3 for 31?
Yeah.
3 for 31 with runners in scoring position. 1 hit, didn't score a run. The other 2 hits were home runs, which cleared the bases. What is going on? I mean, how can they not trip over a run in Colorado? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, this month has been very odd in terms of starting out. Even if I followed Giants baseball since I was a kid, I'm trying to recall when I've seen a start like this of and even slumping with the numbers of runners in scoring position, each guy. I mean, even Buster and like some of the other guys, 1 for like 12 or 1 for 20. And it's like, what? Seriously? No. I could see like one guy, but then it's like 4 guys in a row. And you're like, bases loaded, grounds into a double play. Happens again, bases loaded, grounds into a double play. You're like, yeah. It's like, it is torture kind of, but it's like another kind of torture. I don't know. Well, it's very odd.
I think it speaks to, it's funny, you're right. Buster, heading into play today, Buster was hitting 100, 2 for 20 over the last 7 games. Yeah. But strangely enough, Belt and Pence were both over 300. Pence 300 exactly, and Belt at 318. But then you look at Pagan hit 190 over the last week. Michael Morse hit 111. Pablo hit 111. Gregor Blanco can't hit at all. And they're not stringing them together. And I think it's lineup construction.
Yeah.
I think this actually falls on Bochy.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you there because, the first 2 games of this series in Colorado, Belt was hitting 6th. I didn't quite understand that. I didn't. I mean, he's one of their hottest hitters, not only via power and average, but, everybody else in the 3, 4, 5 slot have been cold for a week plus, and yet Bochy stuck with that until today. And today, Belt hit 3rd, and look what happened. So,
well, it's funny. They mentioned it. I can't remember who I was reading before the game today, whether it was Hank or Pabs, and one of them mentioned that it was a really loose clubhouse this morning. And I don't know why. You got to wonder if they said something. If Bochy's like, all right, Belt, he told the team Belt's going to be our 3-hitter. We're going to build around that. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's what happened, but it seemed to roll over into the game. And as much as I don't necessarily agree with Belt batting 3rd, I would much prefer to have Buster Posey batting 3rd. I'm of the mindset you hit your best hitter 3rd to give him the most possible at bats and guarantee he hits in the first inning. Mm-hmm. I thought the same thing when Bonds was playing for the Giants.
Yeah, Bonds is perfect in 3-hole. No doubt.
Right. Because you always – he is a threat, before the game even starts as the number 3 hitter. He's a threat because the pitcher's already thinking, I don't want to give up a quick hit or a quick walk and have to face this guy with a runner on to start my first inning off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with that too. I mean, I'd love to have Buster hit 3rd. Maybe he's just waiting for him to get going, and maybe they'll switch it and do Posey 3, Belt 4, or if Pence gets going, put him 4 and then have Belt back in 5, and that would be like just a nice bang, bang, bang lineup right there. We would match up against anybody.
No, I think that Belt, look, Belt's hot. He's been hot for the entire month. He's hitting over 300. He's tied for the National League lead with 7 home runs. He's hitting left-handed pitching fine. I think he's really emerging. He's coming into his own. And to me personally, it's a renaissance of Will Clark. And Will Clark hit 3rd. And I'm not trying to jump on the Belt bandwagon because a lot of people have done that in the last 3 years. But I am. I'm fully jumping on the bandwagon, guys. I mean, I think because of his second half last year and now the first month of this year, I'm fully in, man. He has definitely turned the corner. I mean, the second half, he changed his stance, he changed his grip, he changed his approach. The results are there. I think the sample size is large enough to say Belt is a number 3 hitter. I really do think that. I think Buster Posey, I mean, I know you were saying Buster Posey is their best hitter, and I still agree with that. I do think that Buster Posey is the Giants' best hitter, but I think it's okay to hit him fourth because Belt is hot right now. He's been hot for, the last 3 months of the season and the first month of this season. Put him third, keep him there. Posey fourth, and then I'd say Morse fifth.
Well, it's funny. Last season when he changed the stance and the batting and all that stuff that we've all heard about 1,000 times as Giants fans now, it was also when he was shifted and installed in the 3 spot. And he hit 346 to close out the year from August 2nd on with 7 home runs. He drove in 28. I mean, his BABIP was 407, which is phenomenal. So he installed – I totally agree with the fact that he's thriving in that spot, and it seems to do well for him. So I can't argue with it when it works,
It's hard to argue with results. I mean, I can't – conversely, I cannot argue with Buster Posey hitting third. I can't. But I can argue with Belt hitting sixth. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with him hitting sixth and Pablo ahead of him right now. Pablo – let's change the conversation to him. I know. I mean, look, I don't know what his psyche is. We none of us can know this. I mean, so many people say, okay, it's his contract year. How many players perform so well in their contract year? A lot of them do. But maybe Pablo's a different animal. Maybe he thinks that I just turned down, $100 and whatever million to get more, and now I'm struggling. And, maybe it is getting into his head. Maybe it is like, God damn it, I just turned down so much money. Now I want more. I want Hunter Pence money, but now I can't perform. And maybe that gets into his head. I don't know. I mean, I certainly have no idea what's going on in Pablo's head. It's only 1 month. It really is a small sample size. But right now, all I know is that Pablo's agent is like, God damn it. I mean, what do you guys think?
I've been watching him for the last month, and even historically, even in his years, he's always been a hacker. He just hacks at the ball. Like, he swings, but he'll swing at anything, and I think everybody knows that. And I think once he started in his slump and tried to get out of it, he just starts swinging at just garbage pitches. And I just think he's basically getting himself out, the bottom line. And it's frustrating to watch because, you got mid on scoring position. He's probably, I think, him and Buster, or is it Pence, one of the two, have like over 40 guys in runner scoring position. They've only been able to get a handful in. So it's like he's pressing because he just wants to get that RBI hit. But sometimes I just feel like he's swinging for the fences or just trying to get something to go, but he just digs himself into a hole. Next thing you know, he swings at a garbage pitch, 0-1, fouls the next one off, 0-2. And then it's like, okay, pitcher just having fun now and just throw everything in the dirt and he'll swing at something. And he does. He just gets himself out.
I agree with you. That's dead on analysis because you see it on his swing. Suddenly his butt's going one direction while the other half of his body's going a different direction as he's lunging at a pitch that's down in a way that, frankly, the first couple weeks of the season, even when he was struggling, he was not swinging at. Pablo was taking some walks early in the season and letting those pitches go, and he's not doing that as much anymore. I don't think it's a contract thing. I got to be honest. No. I've never been a Pablo Sandoval fan. I've said that on this podcast. I've said that on my own podcast.
You have, yes.
I've never been a fan of Pablo Sandoval as a regular third baseman. He's too streaky and he is too injury prone. 2009 was the last time I can remember him putting together a quality full season. 2010 he lost his starting job to Juan Uribe. 2012 he managed to ride a hot streak and help the Giants win the World Series. So, you never know what kind of Pablo you're going to get, which is why when his agent turned down the offer, I raised my hands up and said, hallelujah. I understand that there's no new alternative, although Joe Panic's tearing it up right now. I understand there's no new alternative, but I really, if Pablo's valued, I'd love to use him as trade bait for starting pitcher later in this season.
No, I agree with you. I mean, to be honest with you, if he had accepted the Giants' first offer, even today, I would still be happy if he had accepted. Now, during our season preview, we had this big argument with me and Willie and Ben and Jen Cosgriff and, Chelsea and all that. Chelsea. I said Chelsea. I meant Chelena. And both of the girls were like, no, don't sign Pablo, no matter what. And I'm sitting here going, okay, well, look at the future free agent market next year. It sucks, aside from Chase Headley, right? Which he's going to demand a lot of money anyway. Not only that, but you consider the whole addition by subtraction, meaning if the Dodgers, who have tons of money, if they jettison Juan Uribe, who's old and, starting to decompose, they sign Pablo. I'm thinking, okay, well, not only the Giants lose him, but the Dodgers gain him. So that's a huge differential. At first, I thought that was going to be an issue, but I will agree with you now. I mean, I know it's only 1 month. 1 month out of 6. I mean, come on, we're 1/6 into the season here. So I know it's a very small sample size, but I am starting to question my allegiance to Pablo Sandoval because of not only his injury history, like you pointed out, Eric, but also his inconsistency and his streakiness. And why would you devote, $18 million a year over 5+ years to that streakiness? Yeah, he won you a lot of games. Yeah, he won you the World Series. But those are very finite, acute points on the timeline. It's not consistency. And that's what really bothers me.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about, exactly, you just said it, consistency. There's been a lot of talk about you threw out the Hunter Pence numbers because that's the comparison that's been put out there, and he also they were compared to each other very prominently recently. And the difference between Pence and Sandoval is Pence is going to give you 150 plus games a season
easily.
Right, and so his numbers are going to even out. You can watch his sinking line drives that are tailing towards the corner. They're going to drop in eventually. Not every right fielder is going to track those down and make those nice running catches. He's gotten robbed like 3-4 times on that kind of a hit. So it's why Pablo, he doesn't deserve that kind of money at all. You're right.
Well, I think, too, with Pence, comparing Pence and Pablo is like oil and vinegar. I mean, even their work ethic and their field, like on the field presence, is totally different. Like, you're going to get like a 200% with Hunter. He's going to leg out an extra base hit. He's going to do the little things on the field, cover outfield, no other. I mean, Pablo is good there, but the thing with Pence is Pence will get himself out of the slump. Like he hit pay dirt part of the road trip, but he managed the last 2 games. Kind of got himself out of it. Yeah, he got robbed a bunch of those times. Some of those base hits should have fallen this week for him. And fortunately, we had all the bad luck hits, and Colorado and San Diego got all the little drops here and there, and were able to squeak out runs. And we couldn't buy anything, which kind of sometimes sucks. But
well, right now the Giants, as far as at bats are concerned, Belt has the number one, or he has the most at bats for the Giants at 87. He's hitting 299. Obviously, 7 bombs, 13 RBI. He's fine. Then we have Hunter Pence with 84 at-bats. He's been raising his average, like you just said, lately. Some of those line drives are starting to fall. 238. Pagan is third with 82 at-bats at 329. He's been struggling lately, but he's okay at 329. Then Sandoval actually has the 4th most at-bats on the Giants at 79. That's only, 8 fewer at-bats than Belt. So he's, a couple games behind Belt. He's hitting 165, guys. 165.
Yeah.
And he's got the 4th most ABs. I mean, at this point, with 2 bombs and 6 RBI and hitting 165, I don't know what they need to do with him next. But, it's not hitting the panic button yet, but, another month, just like Vogelsong. Is he going to make it to June hitting above 200? I don't know.
I think we're going to find out, and I hope we find out with him lower in the order. I don't mind keeping Pablo out there. That's the funny thing in all of this, is I don't see some immediate alternative to fix it. And thankfully, the Giants are getting the power numbers and even some batting average at time from Michael Morse to kind of counteract that. But with his homer today, I think it was he either passed all left fielders from last season for the Giants or tied them. So he's kind of picking up the slack that Pablo has left off. So I wouldn't mind letting him try to play it out, just down in the 6 hole, down in the 7 hole, something like that.
Actually, that's a huge point you just brought up. So last year, the left field position for 162 games hit 5 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Morris has 5 home runs right now in April. So, hallelujah.
Yeah, I think I heard that the other day too. I think it was last week on the radio. They were talking about how much of an upgrade left field was because, Blanco didn't really do much and or whoever else we threw out there.
Torres.
Torres and whatever company.
Bill.
Yeah, like everybody of a different day. So, Morris is huge right now. I mean, if he could stay healthy, it just, put up some decent numbers and hit home runs at the right times, some men on base. I think that's the main thing. And even with Panda, it's like he should know by now, at least go watch some tape. And it's like, okay, all they're doing is pitching around you and pitching away from you, and you're swinging at it. So stop swinging, wait for a mistake pitch, and that's the pitch you crush. If not, then take the walk. It's okay. Get on base. We're paying you to get on first, not get out.
All right, so I want to talk about pitching right now because obviously the Giants' starting pitching has not been terrible, hasn't been the best, but it's better than the hitting. We've talked about Vogelsong, who is really struggling right now. We know this. His ERA is now 7.71. Lincecum isn't that much worse at 6.43, yet in my mind, he's a lot better. But why is that? I mean, why do I feel like Lincecum is much better than Vogelsong, even though his ERA doesn't show that?
Because sometimes the eye test just doesn't lie. Sometimes what you see with your eyes belies what is in the stats. I think baseball shows that perfectly. And you saw Tim Lincecum throw some filthy pitches the other day, like the old Tim Lincecum that just dropped off the table and darted out of the zone. And that gave you hope. You knew that this was a Lincecum that you liked. But with Vogelsong, you see the ball drifting to the spots right over the center of the plate and stuff like that much more often. And he never had that magic that Lincecum has. So you can still see the magic in Lincecum. But since Vogelsong never had that flash of magic, it's hard to picture it coming back from him.
I'll totally agree with you because Bumgarner, what's really interesting is that his ERA is less than half of what Lincecum's is. Lincecum's at 6.43. Bumgarner's at 3.14. Yet, Bumgarner's whip is 1.64, higher than Lincecum's 1.48. Right. Bumgarner's batting average against is 314, just like Lincecum's, and he has fewer strikeouts, and he has more hits per 9. He has more walks per 9. So it seems like Bumgarner is either an escape artist or Lincecum just doesn't know how to get those guys out. But I agree with you. I think that Lincecum, he seems to have that aura where you see those flashes that you're like, damn it, he has that stuff still, but he just can't escape out of those jams. Bumgarner, on the other hand, he's, perceived as the ace of the staff. He has not pitched like an ace. His ERA says that. All the other stats say no. He's letting 2 runners or so, or I shouldn't say 2, more than 1 runner, it's like 1.3 runners per inning on base. So he's always pitching under stress. And I think that's a huge thing that Bumgarner needs to work on.
Well, it's the walks that are getting Bum because he's got 9 and Lincecum's only got 4, and 3 of those came in this past Sunday start. Lincecum in his
with
first
a tight
3
strike
games,
zone, yeah,
right. And in his first 3 games, he only walked 1 batter, and that versus that hit one day was because he was having those balls that darted out of the zone at the last second. And since it was such a tight strike zone, they did look good. And it was, you could take the 3 walks because of that. He's really improved his ground balls. And Bumgarner, you're right. It feels like he works hard every single inning. And I think it's the walks that is basically the difference.
Yeah, no,
I think so
9
too.
walks, definitely.
But I think, yeah, like you were saying, I think sometimes depending who's behind the plate, he's been getting pinched. Like I guess like even in that homestand where he hit the grand slam, he was getting pinched a lot in that game. And it was like, I mean, normally anybody else gets those calls, gets those borderline outside corner shots, and unfortunately he wasn't getting them. And then you dig himself your hole at 2-1, 3-1, then you end up walking the guy. It's like you had that one pitch you wish you were at least at 1-2 or 2-2. Makes a big difference.
Well, Lincecum's given up 6 home runs, though. I think that's part of the difference again, though, is because when Lincecum, you can chalk it up as, okay, he made a Lincecum mistake. He left one hanging. As Vogelsong, it drifts back over the plate. I don't know if that sounds right, but to me, that differentiated in my mind.
Yeah, no, you're right. Lincecum's given up 6 bombs, and then Vogelsong and Kane have given up 5. But of course, Kane gave up a couple today. Vogelsong gave up 3. Both of those pitchers gave those up in Colorado. So that's like, maybe shave 1 or 2 off there.
That's funny. It's a shame they lost David Huff.
Yeah, that kind of hurt.
Yeah, good old, get a base hit, try to run that out, and, strain the quad. It is what it is.
Well, it sure made that paring the bullpen down from 13 to 12 again that much easier for Bochy.
So what do you guys think about Kane? I mean, he, the first start of the season, he got blown up. The next 2, he got caned, of course, in the traditional sense. Do you just chalk today's startup as it's Colorado? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Colorado is always a tough place to play. I mean, the 2 games that he got caned, it was. I feel like if our bats were just even remotely there, we probably could have won those games by 1 run instead of losing those games. I mean, he had his stuff there, so mechanically, I don't think nothing's wrong. I just think just a bad outing, and then hopefully he'll I think wins his next start on like Tuesday or so, or Monday. So against the Padres, I think he comes out, holds the Padres down. There's nothing to worry about. As long as our bats get going, we'll be okay.
Yeah, frankly, I think Matt Cain's been fine, and he pitched his ass off today.
Yeah, he did.
He really did. That's the bottom line. He was able to sustain it long enough to keep it going. A day after Bumgarner had thrown a lot of innings and saved the bullpen as well. It was a nice job by him. He kept all you can ask your starting pitcher to do is keep your team in the game. And Cain put the team in position to do that. And then Casilla balked, and the rest he just got lit up by the home run balls the one game. That was it. It was just glaring because it was Sunday night. It was the Dodgers, and oh my God, what's going on with Matt Cain? Nothing's wrong with him. He's the guy had a 2.88 ERA heading into today. Like I throw today out with stats because
I know.
Talk about his course.
It's tough.
Right, but his whip is 1.12. He's given up 7.6 hits per 9. He's not having a rough go of it at all. He just didn't locate a few pitches to start the season. I think Matt Cain's going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be the year of the horse that he's going to win 18 games, but I think Matt Cain's going to be fine. He's going to be a quality number 2 starter on a very good baseball team.
Yeah, it's really sad to see that 0-3 record because 2 of those losses should have been wins. I mean, he should be 2-1 right now. And today, yes, he held the tide. He, kept it even. The Giants didn't collapse for him, but man, that's frustrating. I mean, here's a little anecdote. Last game I was at, which was a couple of Thursdays ago, I gave Matt Cain a 3-hour tour behind the aquarium, and it was a magical day. I mean, it was, I won't lie to you, it was fantastic seeing him with his daughter and his wife and totally asking questions about the aquarium. Really cool guy. I went to the game a couple weeks ago, and I went down on the field and was watching BP, and it was Cain, Bumgarner, and Hudson That was their rotation, those three guys. And they're having a home run hitting contest. It was very obvious. They were laughing, they were joking, they were slapping butts, the whole thing. And after 3 or 4 rounds, Matt King comes out of the cage. He's laughing. He mentioned something to Posey, and he looks over in my direction, and he goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And I kind of did the whole, like, look to my left, look to my right. And I was like, me? No one was by me. And he's like, "Hey, yeah, you, aquarium guy." So he's like, "I'll be there in a second." So he had a couple more rounds, and he came over and shook my hand and was talking about his home run hitting contest, and we caught up a little bit. But he wanted some photos, by the way, from the aquarium. But the dude is so level-headed. He is so grounded. I can't imagine anything like, giving up 8 runs in Colorado messing him up. He's had so many games where he's been caned, as we all know. His career winning percentage is hovering around 500, yet he is way above the National League average in ERA and WHIP and strikeouts per 9 and all that stuff like that. But I guess when you have 2 World Series championships and a perfect game and an all-star start and win, I guess it's okay. Life is good. So I think fans have to keep this in perspective when they talk about Matt Cain, that he cannot pitch a perfect game every time. He's going to have to go out there and absorb some of those innings where the Giants are going to struggle on offense. And he's going to have games where he loses 1-0 and 2-1. And he's the guy to do that, sadly.
It's become his cross to bear almost, it seems. Like caned is going to be a term we all use 30 years from now and know exactly what we're talking about.
No, definitely. The guy is a workhorse. Sometimes it's like you go to work, you bust your butt all day, and then you only do like one thing. But you worked really hard, but you only have like one thing to show for it, and that's what that's what happens with his pitching performance. It's like you pitched to jam, but unfortunately,
sorry, buddy.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's really funny that he totally called you over and bounded over.
Oh my God,
I can picture you, Chad. I can totally picture you turning and looking side to side and being like, "Wait, oh, you are talking to me."
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I knew he would remember me as the aquarium guy if I like went up and talked to him and said, "Hey, I was the guy that took you on that tour." He'd be like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, that's right." But no, we were like 20 feet away, and he like looked over and he was like, "Dude, hey, what's up?"
He knew you by sight. Yeah,
it was a nice magical moment. So, of course, he just wanted his photos, but point being, it was all good. But as far as Vogelsong is concerned, he's got a long leash. I know that. But a lot of people were thinking at the beginning of the year, because he had a horrible spring training, he had a horrible 2013, people were thinking he's not going to make it to June 1st as a starter. Now, he has another month to go. Here we are nearing the end of April. He has another 4, 5, 6 starts until he gets to that point. And I'm sure Bochy's going to let him have those starts. Do you think by June 1st, he will be replaced by Petit or someone else?
I think yes. I think it's just inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't want to demean a guy in any way, shape, or form and say that he's on the decline, but I was not on board with the Vogelsong re-sign last off season. I was a little surprised by it and how quickly it happened, and didn't care that it was an incentive-laden deal. I was just a little surprised that they felt Vogelsong was a good enough stopgap. I think it'll end up being Petit, just because I don't think Escobar is going to be ready. I don't think they've seen enough stuff from him this season to prove that Escobar can come up and fill that 5th slot, as much as I'd love to see him. I saw him at a Dodgers-Giants spring training game, and that moment seemed a little big for him. So I can get why they'd be concerned. So I could see Petit taking over as the 5th man for as long as he can hang on to the job.
What do you think, Michael?
I'm pretty much, I agree with Eric, as much as it pains me to even think that, but, like, I'm like you, like, I like the guy. I think he's got good heart, and, but the thing is, there's just something not right now. And I don't know how much longer Bochy's gonna go on with this. So if he is gonna be replaced, it's probably gonna be Petit. I don't see them making a trade, or I don't even know who's even out there this early in the season, or if anyone, like you said, I don't think anyone's ready down in Fresno yet. They might need another year before we think about a fourth and fifth starter for next year. But it might be a tough call. I don't June 1st. He might go back to the bullpen and make him the long reliever. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. He obviously needs to have just something go right for him in order for Bochy to think something else.
Yeah, I don't want to see this. It's one of those things. It's like watching a sad movie where you the star's gonna die. You just don't want to see it, man. He's 7.71 ERA. He's got a 3.48 batting average against, worst on the team. A 1.96 whip, worst on the team. I mean, that's 2 runners per inning. 2 runners per inning. I mean, you can't sustain that. I mean, I know it's only 16 innings, but, Petit's got 1.3 runners per inning, 259. He's got a 3.68 ERA, and he actually has only inning and 2/3 less than Vogelsong.
And Vogelsong's a starting pitcher.
Yeah,
because Mero Petit is a bullpen guy. He should not be that close in innings to a starting pitcher.
Very good point.
You can't really say that Vogie only has 16 1/3 innings.
He only has 16 1/3 because he can't get out of the third.
Exactly.
What's really surprising now, and I'm still kind of shocked by it, is Machi right now. He's got the most wins.
Yeah.
That's just bizarre right now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe we should make him the 5th starter. I don't know. I'm just talking now, but I mean, he's come
4-0.
up huge, 4-0. I mean, I actually ended up picking him up on my fantasy baseball team just to pick up some cheap wins to help me out during the season, just because.
Totally got him too.
So speaking of magic, we haven't talked about him yet, but Tim Hudson, man, he's like the silent guy. He's the guy that no one is talking about. Yeah, he's only 2-1, 2.4 ERA. He's leading the team with 30 innings pitched. He hasn't issued a freaking walk yet.
No.
That's insane. He's leading the National League in WHIP at .77, less than 1 runner per inning. This dude is on fire.
He's on fire, and he's under the radar, which I like, because that just makes it maybe that's why he's doing well, because there's no eye on him right now. It's just like, oh, it's Hudson. And it's like, oh, whoa, it's Hudson. Like you say, he hasn't issued a walk forever. I mean, his quality starts are just he's just a neutralizer, man. That guy, even the one game he pitched, I don't think he didn't get the win, but man, he still pitched his ass off, though.
Not tomorrow. Friday, is it?
Friday's pitching.
Yeah,
Yep.
Friday will be the first time he gets to pitch after a Giants victory.
Yep.
Because all of Kane's starts had been losses before then. And
Yep.
I kind of love Hudson in this 3 spot in the rotation. You said he kind of silently goes along. He gives you that contented feeling already that, okay, Hudson's on the mound. I know the Giants have an absolute shot at winning this baseball game. I know he's going to control the pace of the game. I know he's going to work the bottom of the strike zone. And I know that after 7 innings, he's going to give up 2 to 3 runs tops, probably not walked a guy, and the Giants have a shot at winning the game.
That's incredible. I mean, because his last few years, he's been hovering around a 4 ERA. He's at 2.4. I mean, I know that he has a lot of innings left. He has a lot of months left. He could blow up. But right now, he's keeping the ball low, just like his delivery. He has a very interesting delivery. I mean, he's 6'2", 6'3", but when you see him launch, he never steps up straight. He just stays low and launches that ball near the knees. And, right now, .77 whip. I mean, you can't complain with the guy. He is absolutely delivering it. If it wasn't for him, the Giants would be 2 or 3 games under 500 right now. And to think that he is replacing Barry Zito. I mean, that's that is so incredible. He is replacing Barry Zito. He's not like, oh, I'm Mr. 5.0 ERA. That's still better than Barry Zito. No, he's 2-something right now. He's 2.4. He is replacing Barry Zito. So right now, he is absolutely my MVP. Right ahead of Belt so far in the first month of the season.
Oh yeah, by far. I mean, what he's done so far. It's been awesome to watch. I mean, even if he gets himself into a pitch jam, he's not afraid to go at a hitter or just keep it, like you said, down and low, below the knees. And he knows he has defense behind him. So even if the guy pops it up, grounds out, he can get out with a double play, or just get a guy to ground out, get a guy to pop up to Buster. It's like, dude, how did he do that? But I think that just comes with experience in the league. He knows how to get hitters out. He knows how to get himself out of a jam. And, that's a good thing that Lincecum and Bumgarner and Kane can all learn from him, because he has lots of years experience, and all those little things that you can get from a pitcher with that much experience makes you a better pitcher too.
It's funny because you say he replaced Zito, but it's kind of like in name only. Everybody kind of just slid down a spot, and Vogelsong became the new Barry Zito.
That's
and
true.
Lincecum became the new Vogelsong, albeit with a little better stuff. He kind of shifted the balance a little bit, because as long as Vogelsong continues to perform like he does, Hudson's just kind of Matt Cain right now, or Tim Lincecum. Well, better than Tim Lincecum has been the last couple of years. But it's nice to not be saying, oh great, it's a 5 ERA. That's better than Zito's 7.9 ERA was. It's wonderful to have somebody dependable right there in the middle of the rotation.
Yeah. Oh my God, no kidding. I mean, the Giants right now, their starting staff is 4th or 5th in the NL. Can't complain about that. Hitting, however, they were 228 coming into today's game. Now they're hitting 234. It's still third worst in the league. So what's really sad about that? They hit 260 last year. Now, I mean, of course they could still hit 260 or above this year. There's a lot of baseball to be played, but when they started this season, just a week ago, they were hitting above 260. Now they're only hitting 232 as a team. So, it's a precipitous drop-off by this team, and they're coming back home. They should have hit much better in Colorado despite today's result with 12 runs. 3 runs in the first 2 games and 1 of 19. I mean, this is falling back into the pattern of Giants baseball, which is the whole, reason we coined this podcast TortureCast. It's because they just don't hit the ball. Every single game is 1 run. Yeah. The Giants lead the major leagues in 1-run games right now. So we're right back into that pattern. And, granted, Bochy can mix up the lineup. We've already talked about that tonight. But as we close up here tonight, what do you think are the main things that the Giants need to do? And, don't just say hit better and pitch better, but what do you think strategically they can do in terms of re-signing, calling up guys, batting order, whatever you can think of for the next month of this season?
It's a combination. I mean, the lineup construction we've talked about, and I don't know what the full answer is there. If Belt slides into the 3 spot and can thrive there, that's good. I'm with you. I don't mind Pence in the 2 spot. He makes contact generally and will be a rabbit trying to get on base. There's not really a move that can be made just yet. I think they need to stick with having a 5-man bench and not go with the deep bullpen like they did briefly here, because there's a lack of depth suddenly. While the bullpen has depth, the bench does not seem to have depth. The Giants don't have the big bat that'll come up and scare you off the bench at all. Hector Sanchez, it's strange to say, but Hector Sanchez is the scariest bat off of the Giants bench, and part of that is because Hicks is playing so many games right now. He's pretty much a starter. So they might have to shore up the bench a little bit, I would say. And, I mean, we need contributions from people like Pablo Sandoval, and Angel Pagan needs to stay consistent and healthy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny to see today that they wanted to get Buster Posey in the game, but they kept waiting for a spot to put him in. So they finally put him in the, I think it was the 10th inning, where they had a runner on first with 1 out. So they put him in. Very first pitch was a wild pitch. And Brandon Crawford was on first. So he goes to second, and Dave Fleming was on the mic. And he's like, well, So clearly now they're going to intentionally walk Buster Posey, but you can't fault Brandon Crawford for taking second on a wild pitch.
You
So-
should have seen Crawford's face. He looked in while he was running, and you could almost see his wheels turning like, should I be doing this? Is this going to help us or hurt us?
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't see that. I mean, because I could see that. I mean, I could think that as a runner going, should I go? Should I just go ahead and take second? Because, like, they'll just walk him, right?
But the objective of baseball is to score runs and advance bases to score those runs.
Of course.
So on the baseball instinct, you have to take it. Even if they're going to walk Posey, you have to take it. Because there's no guarantee that Posey's hit will be, doubles, triple, home run or anything like that.
No, of course
it's
not.
weird, though. It's such a tough decision to have to make.
Well, it's funny because, like, in baseball, I've never seen that before. I've never seen, let's say, a Barry Bonds or a Buster Posey or whoever was coming up next as a pinch hitter or whoever was at the plate, where there was a wild pitch where the runner didn't take second. I mean, that I've never seen that in my life. So, and I still haven't. So I'm glad I didn't see that for the first time today because that would have been a first. You have to take second because that gives you, I mean, granted, you have an amazing hitter up at the plate who can definitely hit a gapper or a home run. But if you put him on first, the next guy, so if you're playing poker, basically, you have your one guy who hits 350, let's say, with 40 home runs a year. That's not Buster Posey, but let's just say that it is. The next guy hits 250 with 3 home runs a year, and that was Gregor Blanco, right? You have a greater chance of scoring with that next guy up because all he needs to hit is a single. Because even though the guy hit 350 before him, what does he hit for doubles or triples or home runs? It's under 100. You know what I mean? So strategically, it actually is advantageous for you to go ahead and take that base, have your power hitter get walked for the lower hitting guy. It didn't work out for the Giants today in terms of that specific situation, but I've never seen a player just stand on first base. That's not going to happen.
Well, they talked back in the day when Mays and McCovey used to hit back-to-back that Mays would hit the ball, and he fully admitted there's times he didn't want to take second base because he knew McCovey was in late-game situations. He knew McCovey was coming up behind him,
Yeah.
and he had such faith in McCovey to be or not going out. He wanted to stay at first base, but that's like literally the only instance I can think of that. And those are two special players I'm talking about when it comes to Mays and McCovey. So,
Exactly. Very
Yeah,
special players.
right. It's not Brandon McCrawford and Gregor Blanco, but
No doubt. Oh my gosh. All right, so the Giants are 12-10. They are only one game out of first place. So overall, everything's good. It's not the end of the world. We're going to be okay as long as the Dodgers don't go 42-8 in a 50-game span. It'd be nice if the Giants could do that. But they're heading home now for a little bit of a series against the Cleveland Indians. It'll be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and myself and Willie will be in the press box on Friday. So we look forward to that. We hope to steal a couple of Kuiper bobblehead dolls, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But anyway, I want to go ahead and wrap this up. So, Eric, you want to go ahead and pimp your stuff?
thanks. No problem. I do have my own blog, twoouthits.com, but I do write for aroundthefoghorn.com a lot now, covering Giants action, post-game stuff, opinion pieces. I put a weekly Two Out Hits tote board up to track how the Giants are doing in clutch situations. And I have my own podcast. It's the Around the Foghorn podcast. We are usually Monday mornings, not to usurp your listeners, just that happens to be when we have the spare time between me and Chris Corbett, who record the Around the Foghorn podcast. You can follow me on Twitter. 2 Out Hits is my handle, at 2 Out Hits. It's at the number 2 Out Hits. I think that's that covers my stuff.
Yeah, no, and everyone out there, Eric really does have a really good podcast. I listen to it all the time at work. So when I'm zoning out, making graphics or maps, listen to those guys.
That's when I listen to you when
ramble
I'm zoning out making buttons and magnets.
No. It's all good. It's all good. So, Michael, what about you?
I'm on Twitter too. You can follow me at it's SF_Unite, N as an N, and then Cali. and I just pretty much like to talk with just different fans and people who are just as passionate as me about Giants baseball and Niner football and anything else that people want to talk about. So if anybody wants to follow me, feel free to. It'll be cool to like chat game with anybody. So thank you for having me today.
Oh, absolutely. And do you have season tickets?
I had season tickets last year, but fortunately I don't this year. I just split them with some family friends and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I usually go about 30 to 40 games a year.
Oh, that's
give or
incredible,
take.
man.
So AT&T Park is like my second home.
I was gonna say, I mean, we got Eric in Florida, and we got me who goes to about 4 to 10 games a year or something like that. So Michael goes to more games than anyone on the TortureCast crew. So, go ahead and hit him up because he's always out there tweeting out pics of the game and really sad things about how the Giants offense is, very pathetic. But no, what I'm saying is that you are a true fan of the San Francisco Giants. You are there all the time, more than any of us. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast today.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for having me.
So, all right. Well, I hope that everyone enjoyed this episode number 60, by the way, which off the top of my head, does anyone know who was number 60 on the Giants?
No.
We're getting up to the point where we can't name episodes anymore. I did not do this before the episode, which I usually do. So number 60, I'm going to have to post hoc this episode. But it's episode 60.
I can't find it fast enough. That's how little people have worn it over the years.
Hurry up, Eric. Don't make me
I
look
couldn't.
bad.
I Googled 2 different things, and I still didn't find
God
it.
damn it. All right. Well, I'll put it in the show notes and name it that. Anyway, thank you for listening to episode 60 of the TortureCast, podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. You can find us at torturecast.com. You can follow us at TortureCast on Twitter. And we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/TortureCast. You can follow our guests tonight, who they already went ahead and gave their Twitter handles today. And other than that, we have Willie and I in the press box this Friday night at AT&T Park versus the Cleveland Indians. Hopefully we will steal a couple of Kuiper bobblehead dolls, and hopefully we will actually have a bonus-sode to follow up on episode number 60. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode and enjoy your weekend and San Francisco Giants baseball, and hopefully they stay in second place for at least a couple of days until they take first. Boom.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at torturecast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.